Are you okay, babe?
No, I'm not.
Why now? Did the Bill Nye show get cancelled again or something?
No, even worse.
Then what?
MLP killed my OTP!
What?
Hard to say anything, that's the episode, and they killed my OTP!
Wait, wasn't that the Big Mac episode?
Yes.
Oh well, one less headache, I guess. Besides, doesn't that guy, have 3 ships already? He's getting more rump than Aeon in such a short time frame. Not sure I count Pinky's sister, though.
Yeah, but the difference is that this is the only legitimate pairing where they both not only make the choice to be together, but that Big Mac actually pursues the relationship in the first place.
Huh. Guess that does make a change. So, what do you want to do about it, babe?
Well, I suck at fanfiction. My art is alright, but it's not enough to push my OTP to the masses. So, the only thing I can think of to do is review the episode.
You sure that's a good idea? You know how defensive you can get.
I will review the episode!
This right here is what I'm talking about. Alright, well, the least I can do is make sure you don't burn down your channel pure rage.
Oh, come on, I'd never...
You really want me to finish that sentence for you?
Okay, baby, maybe that's a good idea. Let's do this together. So, this episode is basically supposed to be a mirror of Hearts and Who's Day, where instead of forcing others to love each other, it's helping them win someone over.
However, the episode isn't so much as a smooth ride as everyone thinks it's going to be, for a number of reasons. Number 1, Big Mac, hard character to write for. Number 2, the CMCs. Their track record for helping out when it comes to love isn't the best. And number 3, Love Triangle. This old story plot we're going for, is it?
To be fair, though, they are still kids. The CMC haven't really grown up to a point where they understand what showing love can entail, or how crushes in love work, and based on this book that they're basing all of their romance advice on, yeah, I can understand where they're coming from. These are how we often show kids how romance works, or what romance should be. However, throughout the recent years, we have progressed from this.
What doesn't help from the start, though, is that the episode lies to us. Now, normally I'm not one for spoilers or wanting to know what the episode is about, but for this one I did, and the synopsis that I can read, and I quote, Big Mac has his first official crush, and it's up to him and the Cutie Mark Crusaders to help make Sugar Belle fall in love with him before Featherbangs can. Now, the way that is staged suggests that Big Mac has a crush on a mare, but another mare has a crush on Big Mac. Kind of a she's the man situation, but as the episode goes on, well, you'll see.
Starting with how it's written, which is well paced and with nice comedy here and there, but there's a few lost opportunities, especially here. Also, there are so much cringe. Why is there so much cringe?
There's Romeo and Juliet, and then there's Creepio and Awkwardette.
Yeah, this also has to do with the whole we're basing all of our advice on this one fairy tale book. That's not gonna come up to bite us in the butt. I mean, we know that there are movies here, so why aren't we basing some of these on some movies? I feel like that's a lost opportunity for some rom-com cliches. It's more of a fairy tale cliche here, and I understand that this is geared towards kids, but even when I was younger, I was watching a lot of rom-coms. The transitions between the scenes are fine. In fact, a lot of the comedy comes from the different styles in which the two suitors? That's what you Brits call them, right? Suitors?
Yes, that's what we say.
It's a lot of fun to see the absolute terror that Sugar Belle has when seeing this unfortunate train wreck of absolute hilarity and songwriting. But unfortunately, it's ruined by a little bit that we're going to talk about later on. For now, it was just a lot of fun. It was a fun ride, but the moral gets a little askewed because of this one character-related plot hole. Which is sad, because the moral is really good, and that winning someone over doesn't really have to be this huge, grand event. It's just like these little small moments. Which again is killed when the gestures really aren't that small to begin with.
What we're getting at is this. Big Mac has a crush, a legitimate crush on this Sugar Bell mare, and he thinks she has one on him. Yeah, Big Mac has been making trips to Starlight Glimmer's old town and has fallen for one of the bakery mares who we saw in Cutie Mac / Markless. And the CMCs tag along to see what the whole ordeal is about.
Which is fine on its own, but then I have to wonder a few things. Is the ride that short? Why did it take the main six a train ride to get there, but Big Mac only needs a cart? How many times has Big Mac gone there and left that many apples? Has Big Mac been doing this since season 5? When did Featherbangs come up?
And there you have it. The killer of your OTB, babe. Featherbangs. In all his douchiness. I can remember just looking at this guy and I wasn't going to like him. He's fricking Justin Bieber pony design and Justin Timberlake voice. I knew I didn't like the guy. Oh, and by the way, just take a guess on who voices this ass clown. Vincent Tong. And guess who he also voices in the show? Flash frickin' Sentry. So this guy has got 2 hated characters under his repertoire. Good job, bro!
He is kind of hot and rude. Wait. Featherbangs isn't the killer of my OTP.
What? It wasn't?
No, it's Sugar Bell. Sugar Bell, while a nice person in the episode, and has a weird obsession with apples.
She wants Big Mac seed.
Ew. But the problem is that throughout the episode, they don't show them having legitimate connections or chemistry, really. It's just showing them being kinda cute in the beginning, and then the chemistry stops from there. On top of that, Sugar Bell seems a little flip-floppy throughout the episode. At the end of the episode, she proclaims,
"If you think I'm the kind of pony that likes all this nonsense, then you clearly don't know me at all! I wish every pony would just leave me alone!"
Which is odd, considering that she didn't have any objections to Featherbang's advances, which were growing bigger and bigger and bigger, with no sign of discomfort whatsoever until that last musical number.
Also, talking about big gestures, the 3 mares that followed this guy around, I thought we were watching a pony love story here, not MLP's Beauty and the Beast.
Well, to be fair, we're basically dealing with a legitimate heartthrob Gaston character, so it makes sense that there would be a groupie. Or 3.
And yet, I hate this guy.
Why?
It's the old hip and trendy up-in-your-face dude lover boy against the shy, good-hearted, embarrassed guy love story trope. I can't stand it. It's so predictable and copies the stereotype that girls will fall for a guy who is all for that and not for romance, which I actually find offensive.
Not really. In fact, it breaks that stereotype. Think about it. Throughout the episode, he's actually not being in your face till the very end. He's making smaller gestures, legitimately wants a relationship, and respects Sugar Bell's space until the very end.
And at the very end, it turns out he knows absolutely nothing about how to be normal and romantic. Granted, he's willing to learn, but until that point, he's unassailable to me.
That's not entirely true either. In a book by Gary Chapman called 5 Love Languages, which has come up in popularity since the late 90s, about how there are 3 ways people primarily favor showing affection. In short, it's gift-giving, quality time, words of affirmation, physical touch, and acts of devotion. What Featherbangs show is a lot of gift-giving and acts of devotion, which seems to fit with what Sugar Belle needs, but ultimately doesn't fit because there are different degrees of these love languages.
Ugh, jeez, the logic just hurts my head. I mean, granted, it's not like every guy is like this. So, I guess it's hard to always come across this stereotype.
Well, well, well. Who do we have here? Some fine mare that I have had the unfortunate displeasure of never having seen before.
Excuse me?
You know, I think I need to keep my trap shut.
Tell me, has any pony ever told you that you are a fine-looking painted mare? Ooh, those colors of yours, they just blend all over, don't they? From mane to tantalizing tail. You are a treat for the eyes if I ever did see.
Stop before I'm not responsible for what happens.
There's no need to be scared, love. I'll be sure to take good care of you. Treat you right, get you some dinner, maybe even take you to my favorite place in Ponyville for the night.
I'm serious. Back off before I rip you apart limb from limb. Slowly as I clench on your spine, tearing it out of your body, and then start stabbing it with you repeatedly as your screams echo through the halls, but no one is able to help you.
Ooh, playing hard to get, are we? I can say I am a fan.
Okay, as much as I would love to see her go crazy blood drunk, I'm gonna stop this before somebody, mainly you mate, gets hurt.
Uh-huh. And you are who, exactly?
I'm her boyfriend.
Yeah! you? Oh, come on. Tell me you're kidding. This has got to be a joke.
See, this is the kind of character we would normally see in this kind of show and in this kind of story. Normally in cartoons, we see someone whose advances are unwanted and completely without any thought of others' wants or comforts. Featherbangs doesn't do that. Sugar Belle shows genuine interest in him, despite having 3, what I assume are prostitutes following him around. She likes what he's doing, and he at least understands things about the person that he wants to hang out with, allowing Sugar Belle to make the choice herself rather than pressuring her throughout the episode for his advances.
Right. Yeah, I have no idea who these guys are, but what makes you so special anyway, huh? You're just some clay-colored geek with dorky glasses and a fanboy to the most generic favorite pony in Ponyville. What, are you a member of her little fan club? Not to mention that stupid little accent of yours. I'm finding it rather hard to see what she sees in you, honestly.
You know, the funny thing is, in any other circumstance, you may have had a point there. However, I got glasses on so I can improve everything I see, unlike you who can't see all the shit coming out of your mouth. I ain't afraid to show my inner fanboy. My accent is one of my babe's hardest turn-ons, and there's not one stallion who can come close to understanding what she likes and still make her feel good about herself.
Editor.
So, in other words, mate, get the hell away from my girl before I create a new brand of paint called Hint of Brain.
Hey, I'm sure we can talk this over, right?
Oh, baby, you get so sexy when you're homicidal.
Get the picture, you ass.
Duly noted. No!
Too far?
It was perfect, my Grey Wolf. So, before I take you to the back and completely wreck you, what did you think of the episode overall?
Well, if I was reviewing this as one of my videos, I'd say this. The story was your typical love triangle situation. The one you're rooting for gets the girl in the end. And yes, they stick to the whole let's follow it like a fantasy story a little bit too much. And yes, the love antagonist is, and I've said this before, an undesirable, show-off, egotistical love boy. However, the only difference with this guy is he actually tries to make a recompense for his own undesirable approach. Yay for that, I guess? Still don't like the stereotype storyline. Having said that, the animation carries across what it's trying to be. A fairy tale story at first, with the storybook guidelines and dress up. Even the visuals in the musical Song Clash were enjoyable, maybe? I mean, it's not free phonics Sound Clash, but they tried. And moral is basically, be yourself and only yourself. Trying to pretend you're someone you're not, to capture somebody else's affections, isn't a good way about getting into a relationship, because it's just a mask. Story silver, animation silver, moral gold. Enough said from me.
Well, again, Sugar Belle is my OTP killer, you fucking asshole. The writers did give her a nice personality that complements Big Mac's. I still think that Sugar Belle herself is a bit more interested in apples than with Big Mac's apples. And she is a bit flip-floppy through the episode, but I'm not completely mad at the ship. The writing is pretty fun, and I feel like the CMC are a bit more mature for this kind of behavior. The comedy did have some hit-and-miss moments. The love triangle is actually one of my favorite love stories. And while I know Featherbangs is our supposed undesirable choice, he's actually not the worst one I've seen. While he's not an amazing character, he wasn't really a bad one either. He is nice, considerate, not afraid to show his affection, and I actually would have liked Sugar Belle with him more, because they kind of go off of each other more. I find myself laughing hysterically every time with that frickin' song number. Just why? It's so much fun. It's a lot of fun, and I would watch just that again. But I don't think I want to see Featherbangs in another episode, and I wouldn't want to see Sugar Belle with Big Mac as a relationship again, other than maybe to break up. Yes, I'm still salty. Deal with it!
Well, I guess we sorted that mess out, didn't we?
Oh, there's still one thing we need to work out.
Huh? What's that? Wait, what's going on? What are you doing? What are you doing?
You know how I get when you get all Alucard on me.
Oh, crap. Fade to black, fade to black!
Time to worship the true Rump Queen, baby.